more obtainable goals for fit model and all this other bullshit. It's like, what, there's only there's a small percentage of people that can make it to the NBA. There's a small percentage of people can make it to the MLB. There's a small percentage of people that can make it to the NHL. There's a small percentage that can make it to the NFL because it's an elite group of athletes. Now, do they have the G League and all that stuff? Yes, and guys can work their way up. But at the end of the day, it's an elite class of people. Not everybody can do it.
Right. It's just, oh my God.
And here's the thing. Jeremy is right. It's not to cut you off, Jeremy. Jeremy is right. And as soon as I seen this, I'm like, fuck me. Jeremy was absolutely right. When they want to do something, all they create is, because Jeremy said this weeks ago. Remember? He said this weeks ago to it. They'll create another class, and that's what they did. And on top of that, they're making more money.
Right. Yeah. And what's uniquely bodybuilding about this? Bodybuilding is supposed to be developing your musculature to an exceptional or extraordinary degree. What's exceptional or extraordinary about the fit model division? You're basically looking like every other woman on the planet who goes to the regular gym goers and then getting up on stage. What's unique about that?
Nothing.
What's exceptional, extraordinary about that? So why the fuck are we putting it in bodybuilding, which is supposed to be exceptional, extraordinary?
Go ahead.
Here I say it like this. It's like I love movies, and one of my favorites is Young Guns. It's that scene where the guy says to Billy, saying like, you just can't be any geek on the street. You got to know how to handle steel to earn your keep. And that's the problem is, it's truthfully any geek on the street, but never handle steel. We get here a comment from my man Emmanuel L. Shout out to Emmanuel. He says, "Hey George, what's up?" Also, we have here is Kit Kat says, he says, "No buff chicks tonight, just the lads." Well, folks, hey, we usually try to have them on there, but if they don't want to come, hey, it's the lads. You got to watch us. This is something I saw, and I think they just posted on a went check on Beta Priest. I saw somebody sent it to me like last weekend and said, "George, you see this?" I said, "What is it?" And I think it's like the Beverly of the what's added to Beta Priest's bullshit organization. We have cheap cocktail dress, curvy cocktail dress, cheap cocktail dress, curvy cocktail dress. You mean you get skinny chicks and fat chicks? That's what you're doing?
Who the fuck wants to see that? Tell me.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that when I go to a club, but not, you got the curvy beach body division. Okay, that's cool. But what's the point of that?
It makes it so ununique about what we do now. It's sad, because you had I don't even know how many competitors are at nationals a couple weeks ago, but you had 600 competitors at Team U in just bikini. 600. So now what you're saying is we're going to let the average girl who goes to the gym go on stage, maybe with a little bit of muscle, or not much muscle, go on stage and compete for a pro card for next year. Come on, dude. Seriously, I'm a judge, and I have a hard time judging fucking bikini as it is because it's so many girls, and it's like, and now you got wellness, and now you're bringing fit model. Come on. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, don't blow fucking smoke up my ass. Just tell me we're trying to make fucking more money, because that's what it's about. It's not about putting, and again, here's the thing. If you want to make this right, and we've been talking about this for this whole entire year, guys, if you want to make it right, then fix the fucking rules. If you don't want bikini to have this much muscle, like Jeremy said, Tom Plaster saying girls are using VAR and using tests now and all this other shit. Bikini girls. Why? I have no idea. But they are. So now you got bikini girls doing this shit. Then knock them for this. It's just the same thing as the girl who posted the thing about women's physique a couple weeks ago. And how they were saying, well, this is where Dana Lynn Bailey started, and this is where we're at now. You have a job as the IFBB, Tyler, Jim, Steve, Sandy, and whoever else is on that fucking group of panel. You have a job to say, these are the rules. Either play by the rules or get the fuck out. It's just like Steve saying, if you don't like what we're saying, shut the fuck up. Well, we're going to talk about it because you're adding more categories. All you're doing is making the class that was bikini back to the original bikini. And I don't even know I guess they created the name fit model. So now you got fit model and bikini, wellness, figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. Get the fuck out of here. Come on now. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100 right now. You can go back. The NFL every fucking year. Sorry if I'm mad because I'm real irritated about it. The NFL every year changes certain rules. They change rules. Well, concussion, so they get better helmets. Roughing the quarterback, pass interference. Every year they go back and they reevaluate things to make it safer for the players, to make it better for the fans, etc. I don't like the new rules because I was a defensive back. I like jamming guys. I like being able to play them out after 5 yards, but that ain't the rules. It is what it is. What these guys are doing is they're not changing any rules or making anybody pay for the consequences of their actions of doing things that was supposed to be the original rule and just creating a new category. Like Jeremy said, it is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and here's the thing. With Tyler, this kid lives in an echo chamber. Pure echo chamber. And the reason I know that is because I went over and looked at that video again. All critical comments were removed from the comment section. Yeah. Like 400 of them. Like 400 of them. Any and all of them were which had a problem with it or which had issues with it, they were all removed. And it's like I found that out because over on my IG, I tried to access a comment that I think it was Rachel Daniels had put up and saying, hey, is there any correlation with the creation of this division and the removal of so many women's physique shows? And her comment got removed. So it's like, and there was apparently enough of a hue and cry about this. Let me see if I can post this here. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that or not. But this was a story that Tyler posted, apparently in response to all of the negative comments that were made. Can you see it? You guys read it? It says, new division's logic is very simple. Even though people inside the industry know the top bikini competitors aren't overly big and muscular when you see them in person, the average gym goer does not. They are apprehensive to get on stage looking at pictures and video. Attracting more people into the industry will only help us attract more mainstream sponsors. This is the only way the IFBB Pro League will continue to grow. I remember when everyone didn't like the addition of men's physique and bikini. Today they are amongst the most popular and celebrated divisions. This new division will require time, effort, and work as bikini division did 10, 15 years ago. Well, I posted a response to this over on my IG. I don't know if you can pull that up or not, but to respond to his logic, quote unquote, is okay, what makes more sense logically? To come up with a new division, clear out of the blue, which means you're going to be pulling support from all of the other female divisions in order to be able to put it into this new fit model division, which means also you're going to have longer shows, because if you're going to try to incorporate all women's divisions, it means it's going to get that much longer. And you're going to have overall even more decreased support for the other divisions because there's only so much support to go around. So if you're going to put all your effort, all your eggs into the fit model division, what happens to all the other ones? That's option number one. Or fix the shit you got. And the reason why it's so fucked up is because of your consistently inconsistent judging. How about we do that instead?
Exactly.
Why do we have to come up with a brand spanking new division? And to get back to what you said, Keith, on one of the roundtable discussions I had and she put it beautifully, one of the roundtable discussions I had over on my podcast, Trish Wood said it great. She said, I'm not going to pay a ticket to go and see something that I can go and see at the beach for free.
Exactly.
Why in the world, why would I pay a ticket? Why would I pay a ticket to see a bunch of in shape or fit girls at a bodybuilding show, which is not supposed to be about that? It's supposed to be about taking it to another level. That's what bodybuilding is supposed to be. And all this catering to try to get everybody down to this absolutely average level. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. There's a guy.
Drug test. You want to do that? Do drug test.
Yeah, or put your egg, or put more support behind your fledgling natural division that you guys have started. How about doing that instead?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of going with this fit model division. How about
That's too much work for them.
I know.
But it's
So it just boggles my mind. The last I checked, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result every time. And that's exactly what they've been doing for 25 years. They've been coming up, this same rationale that was there in the post has been behind fitness, figure, physique, bikini, and now wellness. As they said, oh, well, we're wanting to get it. And notice they're always smaller. And the reason why they're always smaller is because you go back in the 80s, that's the look that sells. That's the look that sells. That's the one that gets people's attention, because they're absolutely right about that. They said, hey, that's something I can achieve. But I'm looking at the rationale here. It's like, you're telling me that without just improved training and diet, any woman out there couldn't look like an amateur bikini competitor? No one could do that.
Yeah, I train them.
No one could do that. No woman is capable of doing that. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Here, I'm going to pull up Jeremy's comment he posted on his. I got it here. I'm
Yeah,
pull it up.
there it is.
Yeah, I got my nick. Here go.
Right.
Let me see what Here's some logic for you. What makes more sense to constantly keep coming up with new competitive divisions in an attempt to achieve a that is more appealing to the general public, resulting in even longer shows and decreased support for all existing divisions, or fixing divisions you already have that you saw fit the fuck up due to your constantly inconsistent judging. I'm just saying, don't mind me, brother. I respect that.
It's mind-boggling that they keep doing the same thing. And then the funny part about that video is, oh, go take a look at the rules. Take a look at the criteria. When the fuck have you done that with the other divisions?
Never.
When have you done that with women's physique? When have you done that with figure? The whole reason they look the way they do now than they did 10 years ago is because you guys have allowed it to fucking happen, because you're not following through with the criteria that you guys say is supposed to be for the division. And then the one, and I'm sorry, I'm going off here because it just drives me nuts to see this happening. And then the whole thing about crossovers. They say, oh, if you're going to be in fit model, you can't cross over to any other division. You can't cross over to figure, you can't cross over to bikini, etc. But then you can have crossovers from bikini to wellness to physique to bodybuilding. Anybody and everybody can cross over to any other division that you want in all those other divisions except fit model, resulting in what you're seeing now in the pro level, that the figure competitors now look like physique competitors and the physique competitors now look like bodybuilders. You say, oh, well, you can't do crossovers. Here's a fucking idea, Tyler. How about eliminating divisional crossovers on the amateur level altogether? Period. Nobody gets to do it. Make up your mind what you actually are and stop allowing it to happen.
Exactly.
How about that instead?
Guess what, Jeremy? Then they wouldn't make as much money. Remember, I told you guys this. It all boils down to the form. It does. I mean, hey, if I'm the NPC, if I'm Tyler, I'm Jim, I'm any of the people with the powers to be, and I can say, hey, well, Susie wants to do wellness at $350, but she also wants to do, bikini at $350, but she also wants to do women's physique. I'm gonna take that money. They're not fucking stupid. They're not. I had a girl do Jack the Tone show about a month ago. And she was novice, and then she was true novice. So I don't know what the fucking difference is. I thought novice and novice. So now you have true novice, meaning you never done a show before. You have novice, meaning you've done a show, but you didn't win. So you have those two. So then they didn't have enough girls in the category. So they go, we'll let you jump into this category if you give us $100 on the spot. So she paid the $100, and so she was in figure, true novice in both, and novice in both. And there was 3 girls in her class, and she won all 3 classes. But again, what the fuck is novice and what the fuck is true novice? I don't understand. They're making up these rules as they go, and it's confusing as shit, to me, because it's all a coin thing to me. It's all a bunny thing to me. I don't give a shit what anybody's saying, because if you stick to the rules, you can modify rules. But again, I don't know who the girl was. I know we all seen it, that was talking about women's physique and the cross striations.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. That's Robbie Carlson. I just interviewed her last Thursday.
Yes.
We talked to her. I have that video posted on my IG.
Yes.
Because I posted. I'm gonna pull it up.
And that shit, what Jeremy, was the most enlightening. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Was the most enlightening. You got to listen to this. It's amazing, and it hits the. It hits.
Oh wait! I know that one. I know the one that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think.
It hits it right on the head of what everything you said.
So we have a new division,
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
we see what
I've
they're
seen that.
saying about why they're doing it, and I don't think it's going to work, because the problem isn't having another division needed. It's because they're not keeping the integrity of the divisions. I'm going to use WPD as an example. So here's the criteria. I'll let you lead that, but look at this. Not as much muscle as seen in bodybuilding, and not an overly strided physique. So we have our first winner here, Dana Lynn Bailey. She was more conditioned than the figure athletes at that point in time. Clearly didn't have as much muscle. Still very hardworking, still very conditioned. Beautiful look. This is where it started. Now this is where we are. So if you look here, look at the difference between Sarah in this photo versus this photo where she's just won in 2024. The amount of muscle that's been added in the conditioning level, if that's not grainy, I don't know what is. That's bodybuilding conditioning, not women's physique according to the rules. Now they're saying that they want to bring it mainstream. Here we go, 1980s. Corey Everson, absolutely beautiful, had plenty of covers, huge model. I'm pretty sure my dad had posters in his garage. We have Dana Lynn Bailey, who paved the way for women with muscle. And you know what? Still wasn't as big as bodybuilding. And then even on the guy's side, I'm going to have an example of Leela Brada, who's on the front cover. But look at the Golden Era guys. You had all sorts of them on covers of magazines. People were interested in mainstream. Problem is integrity.
We talked about this from my interview with Robbie. She's a intelligent young lady. She's also does posing. She has great posing skills. Admire her. She actually I found out about her. She posted this video of her talking about Diane Dennis, and I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And I told her some information about Diane and told about some other people. Here we got here from man Kit Kat. He says BBW division, LOL, but ladies bodybuilding is for the mainstream. It's reach. Nietzsche, he says. Also, this is from a man, War 2000 says to Kit Kats. The men bodybuilding got plenty of media coverage to prop them up for recognition. This is strictly a channel in support of ladies, which is what we are striving for, more platforms. And he says, yeah. And the man says, we're not schmoes. We love of the sport. Yeah, I know that. And this is why I keep saying this. What's going to happen is that when this division really starts to spread, like an infection, just like how bikini was, like how I say it best, an invasive species. Like and I love quoting movies. You remember the scene in The Matrix where Smith is talking to Morpheus and talking about how do we catalyze the humans? Because most creatures, they go to a place, they move on. We use the resources, but humans is almost like a virus. When they go to the place, they just infect the place and they use all the resources till there's nothing left, till it dies. This is, as I said this again, this is what they're doing. And the quote from my man Big Pun, they're performing surgery with a chainsaw. That's what I seen in Scarface. When he's about to chop up Tony after he killed his friend Angel. This is what this is. With surgery, supposed to be precise. You have a problem, you precisely fix that problem. Like one thing, most definitely, is that Sarah Vickers shouldn't be physique Miss Olympia. That should go to Sharonica Hinton. She has the look, the conditioning. She doesn't look too styrated. She's not too big. Then you should punish her. They gave the title to Natalia one year, but Sarah, see what she did was she came in softer. But if what she came in softer, then she should have stayed the champion that year in 2022. But no, she came back just as hard and conditioned. But they say, hey, they like Andrea's look, because even though Andrea, she doesn't come as hard compared to like maybe Angela Yo, but she still comes in good condition. That's women's bodybuilding. And what's going to happen?
But they've set that standard though. They've now set that standard. And again, I'll quote Andrea Shaw. Sandy says, "Come in with the same look that I had before. She may can get a little bit more condition, but not too much, and that's appealing to the fans. That's appealing to everybody on this panel. And so that's the standard they created. The problem is with the other categories, because remember, that standard was created because they brought women's bodybuilding back. So that they brought it back. Women's physique was already in existence. Women's figure was still in existence. Women's wellness was different. Women's bikini was still in existence. But that standard, that's why she's a 5-time Miss Olympia, because that's the standard. So it was like Iris. They didn't change that standard when Iris kept getting harder and more conditioned. They let the standard ride for 10 titles, right? So after the 10 titles, when people was like, we just don't like this look, and everybody was chasing Iris conditioning and stuff, they got rid of it. They brought it back. Now we have a champion that everybody loves the appeal of what she looks like. So we don't have to worry about women's bodybuilding because it's already established, and that's the look they want. It's these other classes that we're talking about right now that is the problem. And like Jeremy said, fix the fucking rules. That's all you got to do. It's not the hey, when Iris came in with the hematomas in her ass at the Arnold, they put her in 5th or 6th place that year because she had the little whelps in her ass from her injections.
He wasn't at the night show.
Yeah.
He was flat out not there. That was what blew all of us away. It's like Iris Kyle is not in the night show?
Yeah.
She's not there. It just blew us all away. Yeah. It was like...
But they established that rule. They said, okay, everybody's talking about it. This is not good. We got to do something about it. And guess what? They did something about it. That was the only time we've seen them actually put their foot forward and say, okay, we can't allow this to happen. Even in men's bodybuilding, if you look at Hide Kupa, if you look at his shoulders, I remember looking at his shoulders. I remember looking at some of his quad pictures, and you can definitely see the synthol aspect of some of these guys, and what they're doing is like, you have to discredit some of their work if they're fucking filling their body up with synthetic oils in order to fill out. Is just what you have to do, but they're not doing it.
Right, and then the thing that has gotten my goat over the last 20 years is their solution to the problem is to come out with memos for what the women are supposed to do. And they did it in 2000, they did it in 2004, 2015. They came out with another one, and this one was directed towards bikini competitors. Was directed towards figure and bikini competitors, saying, hey, you're all getting too big. And then Sandy Williamson appears in the video where they announce the classic men's physique division. There's a clip in there and said it wants to see a 10 to 50% reduction in muscularity. I'm like, you already tried this with the 20% rule. Yeah. And then what happens the next year? Yakseni Orikin, one of the most muscular female bodybuilders in the world, gets the title. According to your memo, she shouldn't have gotten it. So how did she? Yeah. But what really gets me about this is they're saying, here's what the women need to do to fix this situation. They're not the problem. And the reason here's what I liken it to, is taking your car in to get it serviced at an auto mechanic. But then the auto mechanic, in the process of servicing your car, damages your car. Like damages the car door or the bumper or something like that. So now you got a ding in it. But then the mechanic goes and says, okay, here's what you need to do to fix the problem. I'm going to fix the problem. I'm going to fix your error What you did to my car, I have to fix that? And it's exactly the same thing here. They're saying, oh, well, you ladies, here's what you need to do. Well, Sandy Williamson, Steve Weinberger, all the other top judges, what about you? What are you going to do to fix what you've done? Because you're the ones who are rewarding the look. You're the reason why it looks the way it does today. The women are looking to you and you're judging as to determine what look they're supposed to bring to the stage. And they're going by what you, the judges, have rewarded.
Yep.
So for crying out loud, quit telling the women to fix the problem when they're not the problem. You are.
Yeah,
like
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, like one point here, like I'll put this picture. You have right here, you have Zama Binta, Lavinia Bobbies. If you look at them, you will say to yourself, both of them could either go in women's bodybuilding or physique. You know, it's crazy. Then I have here later an interview. Her name is Tracy Meyer. Now, Tracy, she was originally physique. She did wellness, and now she's making the switch back to physique. I remember one lady I interviewed. You know, she did wellness for half a minute. She was physique, now she's going back. If you already have those strong aesthetics, and you're trying to switch over the division, I saw one lady, Christella, what's the face? She went to Olympia back in 2022, I think 2021, 2022. She is decided to switch over. And you know our friend Jada, she's done it. But that's the problem. When you already have those strong aesthetics, strong looks, when girls in figure who switch over to physique, you know, it's easier for you because, you know, the divisions get to the point where it's looking more like, it's looking beyond what physique started out like. You know, you see, so it's so easy. That's why I just interviewed a few ladies who got the pro card at nationals. Two of the ladies were doing both physique and women's bodybuilding. You know, she won both her pro cards, both women's bodybuilding and physique. And she was the overall winner in women's bodybuilding because there was only 6 competitors. One lady, she also was doing women's physique, but she took second in women's bodybuilding. But because you only get one pro card in women's bodybuilding, she got a pro card, taking second in the same class the woman she was against in women's bodybuilding. And the thing is, it's about crossover. There's money they can make because what's it? It was 350, 370 told me for 350 for doing that's like $700. So you gotta think about it. If you have 2 women doing 2 different divisions, that's already $700, right? For each person. That's over nearly 1,500. Then you think about it, you're gonna have more of those ladies who say, you know what, I don't want to miss out my opportunity. So okay, let me throw my hinges here in figure and let me throw my hinges here in physique. And last Sunday, I interviewed a lady who won both her pro cards, both in figure and women's physique. That's Michelle Moon Johnson, impressive lady. She said she's gonna make her debut in 2025. But when people like Sandy Williamson tell the figure girls, we need you to be more bigger. I think in certain parts, but you know, you want more lat or whatever else, but you just not sticking to the guidelines. Instead of telling these ladies, we need more size, we need more this. Fix the problem you had before. Don't talk to the athletes, talk to the judges. You can get Standy, you can get Tyler, you could get Tim Gardner. You know, Tyler can be on the telecast. You can get, you know, Tyreek, the guy who's always talking junk about Chris Comier on the live stream every so often. You know, you can talk to all the judges. No point talking to athletes because the athletes take critique to the judges. Not too many of them say they don't, but most do. We got here my man KL the Wanderer coming through. Thank you, brother. How you doing?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, yo. KL is also going to be doing a live on New Year's night. So you want to check it out for 11 o'clock. We're going to, you know, drop the ball with him to see his thoughts, you know. So I know he's not much for this, but what's your thoughts on this new fit model division?
I've seen the pictures of it. They look like bikini. They look similar to bikini, but I mean, they don't look too bad. I mean, I'm not a hardcore female bodybuilder fan like you said, but I guess like that. It's like they trying to find something to appeal to the the mass, like people outside of the bodybuilding community, society in general, because society don't really understand or approve of women that's bulky, you know. So that's my thought of it. When I seen it, I mean they didn't really look. They was a little bit to a level of bikini and maybe a little bit of fitness model. I don't know why they called it like fitness model, but it's whatever. But I feel that they're just doing that to find an audience to have an appeal of it. Because that stigma is there. You know,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all.
like one thing. Yeah, it's like how people talk women bodybuilders. They call them being like men, but then you're getting some women going to look like young boys. If you ever watch prison movies, they tell you, what they like? They like the nice young boys because it's smooth and not hairy. That's what you're getting. This is what it is.
I don't know about
You
that one. I don't know.
that's how when some ladies tell me that, and I say they're not. They still like how that feminine look, but then
But
you got to think
don't.
about
But isn't it that the same with the female bodybuilders in a sense where people kind of judge them and stuff like that? Because some of them
it.
they do look masculine. I'm keeping it real buck. Like they do look masculine to a point where people would kind of like back off. So it nobody don't win in the situation. I think they just throwing something out there for people to find an appeal. That's it.
We're
Because
gonna
I've
go
had
from
people like I have people like would comment on certain things. Like in my experience, on women on bodybuilders. Simple. You know, I had a friend, he was telling me, I shared this before. He was like, yo, this is disgusting, straight up, so
What
I
aspect
mean,
of
it
it was
depends on the,
disgusting?
huh?
What aspect of it was disgusting? Like, what are you talking about? Just women bodybuilding, the sport in general, all categories?
Well, he
I
said,
mean,
like, well, from what I got, from what he was telling me with women with muscles, he was sharing with me that he went to a wedding and he happened to see a female bodybuilder, and the female bodybuilder was attracted to some guy, and the guy wasn't attracted to her, and he just find like looking at her kind of. I don't want to use you. I don't know to say this word like, but unappealing. I'm gonna use unappealing. So
well, it's not for everybody.
yeah, it's
yeah,
not
Well,
for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. It's to touch on something that you said, Keith. Women's bodybuilding actually isn't okay now
No,
because of this new division.
no.
Because it gets back to something I also said here in the show about critical mass.
Mm-hmm.
With every single one of these new divisions that comes up, it means that they're going to try to cover it at the show, but they're not going to be able to cover everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's only so much support to go around.
Yep.
So they're going to have to start cutting corners somewhere. And that means you're going to have, this is what I predict, is you're going to have, because of this new division, you're going to have less women's bodybuilding on both the amateur and you're going to see less women go for the national shows, and you're going to see less shows with women's bodybuilding on the pro level because they're going to be introducing this fit model division. They're going to put all their effort behind that. And so that means, as I said, because there's only a certain amount of support to go around, all these other women's divisions are now going to suffer. Because now the bikini competitors and the wellness competitors are going to start experiencing what the women bodybuilders, the women's physique competitors, the figure competitors, the fitness competitors all had experienced before them, and that is when the new division came along, their support decreased.
Yep.
And that's exactly what's going to happen with bikini, and that's exactly what's going to happen with wellness. They won't feel it hard at first. But as this goes on and they keep putting more and more emphasis in the fit model division, which is what they're going to do, all these other divisions are all going to suffer, including bikini and wellness. So now they're going to start experiencing what all the other women's divisions have been experiencing. And that's a decrease in support.
Yeah, because you had women's bikini, who was, no offense and all, I call the basic category. But now you got a basic category.
Right.
We don't want any muscle. We still want firm glutes, but we don't want any muscle. Period.
No
jiggle, but no muscle. I'm like, okay. And like the person said, I could go to the beach.
Right, it's true. Oh, it's Trish. She said, why in the world am I paying a ticket to go see somebody on a stage that I could go to see at the beach for free?
The beach.
Why do that?
Yeah, exactly. I see plenty of them at the gym every day. I go to the gym and I'm just like, and again, I tell people all the time when people say, I'm a bodybuilder or this and another, there's street shape and there's stage shape. And what they're talking about is street shape.
Right.
So why don't you just name it street shape? Not fit model, street shape category. That's what we look for. Street shape, not fit model.
Yeah.
But I guess it's more appealing. The fit model is more appealing than street shape. But again, if it was me, I'd call it basic bitch category, but that's just me.
If they want to appeal to the general public, here's a great idea: couch potato division.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd sign up and win that.
I know. Hey, I'll be the champion.
Just put a sofa and a big screen TV on the stage. Have me sit there, and whoever can do that for the largest number of hours while eating Doritos and everything else that goes with it. I mean, whoever can do that the longest, they win. That's the couch. I'm just waiting for that to show up because I'll get my pro card. I'll get my pro card in that, and I'll be the first Mr. Olympia. Couch potato division.
I would like to have for extra points. You have a guy who brings you DoorDash, like with Chinese food or some cookies,
right.
And
right, exactly.
Yeah,
I'd win that.
Here's the reverse of this. Especially most of these are going to be young competitors because it's going to be harder for even a basic woman, a woman like either 30 or 40. To do this division, because unless you're a very small, very petite type of woman, generally, eventually, bodybuilding is such an extreme influential sport, it's going to influence that division. Those same women are going to evolve into what bikini is now.
Right.
George, remember you said this a long time ago, and I think you and Tina were having this conversation. You said, what's going to get girls to go into bodybuilding? They're not now. Because now you got this category that they don't have to put much work into. They can come in low tone, in shape, and go into a category that's so obtainable and not nearly extreme as the other classes. Now I guess bikini, because that's why they're creating this other class. Because if the bikini was obtainable, they wouldn't be creating this other class. But now they're trying to tell me that bikini's not obtainable?
Right, exactly. That's like when Tyler said, oh, this is logical. I was like, what the hell are you talking about logical? You're telling me any woman who goes to the gym with the right amount of training and diet can't look like a bikini competitor? Yeah. Any woman off the street can do that. Because you don't need massive amounts of gear for it. You don't need to spend a decade or a decade and a half of hardcore training with serious weight in the gym to be able to do that division.
Well, that's why Tom Plath was saying, what the fuck are you guys using all this shit for? Because you don't need that much muscle in women's bikini. But yet, trainers got their... I had one girl that trains at my gym. Her trainer had her using Ozempic. And she's not even fat. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, are you serious? You're using Ozempic to... I don't know. Is it to curb your appetite or reduce your appetite? Or
it's supposed to be an appetite recovery because I remember my doctor recommended for me. And I said I have to come in there. I think every week or two to
eat
a shot.
Better.
You know, I
better,
just
do cardio. You don't have to. I mean, and this girl's not a big girl. I mean, she's in decent shape. A mother of 3 kids. I mean, but again, at the end of the day, here's another competitor that did a show in Iowa, and that's it's the girl that Bruce is dating. Did a show in Iowa. The judge says, "I think you'll be better off in wellness." Goes to the show 2 weeks later and jumps right back in the bikini after they told her to go to wellness, and she placed 4th in one class and 5th in another class. Well, the fucking judges told you to go to wellness, because these are the same judges that were at the other show that says, you'll be better off in wellness. And I get the wellness thing, because they're, I would say, housewives or moms that have had babies, that are bottom heavy, maybe smaller up top. But now, like George sent me a couple years ago when I was at the World Championships, these girls are getting butt implants and all this other shit. So again, these categories are getting so watered down with so much bullshit. What are we doing?
nothing.
Right.
It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make sense. Understand, the problem is, and you can fix it by simply talking to the judges. You set the rules for this division, especially physique, women's bodybuilding. You're the ones who set the rules. So why are you punishing? Like I said, why are you punishing the athletes when you can't just talk to the judges who are the ones who telling these rules?
But the rationale, though, George, is that they're not wrong. That's the mentality of these judges is, it's not our fault. We're not doing anything wrong. It's what you ladies are doing to yourselves, that you're not following through with what we want. They're completely oblivious to what you just said. They're oblivious to the fact that they're the ones who are doing this. They're the ones who are handing out the judgments that the women are following. They just don't want to acknowledge that simple fact. They have fucked this up. They've done it. Not the women. They have.
And the shitty thing about what Jeremy is saying is absolutely right. If you go to my judging panel, and there's 7 of us minimum on this judging panel, and I'll ask us all what we think, out of that 7, 3 or 4 may agree, and 3 or 4 may disagree. But here's the thing. I've been a pro now for 16 years, 2000, something like that. I have never, ever, up until 2 years ago, actually up until last year, when Tyler Mannion started coming on social media and saying, this is what we're looking for. But again, here's the problem with that. You have Tyler Mannion going through Angela Shaw, Angela Yo, the top 5 competitors, saying this is what the difference was between the 5, blah, 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 this, that, and other. Okay. But then you have Sandy Williams sitting on the other side, sitting there saying in a seminar, well, we don't want cross-striations in the women's physique glutes. But yet the girl who just posted a picture saying, well, what the hell is that? So you're not punishing them you're not punishing them for not following the rules. If they say no cross-striations in the glutes, no cross-striations in the glutes. Do less cardio, eat more carbs, or whatever the case may be. But again, they're rewarding Natalia and they're rewarding Sarah. And I think, and that is, if you listen to any of the things that Dana Lynn Bailey said, and I kind of agree with her now when she said she wasn't using gear when she was competing, because I remember seeing her in South Carolina at Junior Nationals one year, Junior USA's one year, and I told people, I said, when they create this women's physique category, she will be the first pro, because she was too hard for women's figure at the time of that era, and she was perfect for women's physique. And then what she started realizing is that there were other girls probably using more gear, getting harder, and she didn't want to do that, so she was out. She's like, I'm out. I don't want to do this. Her brand is booming and more popular than ever. She got what she wanted out of the sport, and now she's just Dana Lynn Bailey. So again, if you would have kept that look of what Dana Lynn Bailey is right now, and I understand, just like I said with football, sports evolutionizes. I get it. At the exact same time, they don't evolutionize that much, because a criteria is a criteria and a standard is a fucking standard. And when you let these girls, like Iris or these Sarah and these girls, get harder and more muscular and all this other stuff, that's the judge's fault. That ain't the athlete's fault, because at the end of the day, when I am looking up at Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the sport has, I mean, if we watch now Samson Dua, the sport has evolutionized to a whole different level, right? But again, that's men's bodybuilding. Now, when you're looking at these other women in these other sports, and again, think about it. The 90s for men's bodybuilding was the best era ever. Nobody can't tell me it wasn't. Again, when you're looking at these things and you're sitting here saying, okay, what is our standard going to be? Okay, Sarah's too hard, Natalia's too hard. The girl that George just mentioned is that standard. Well, put her in first place. But they don't do that. Why aren't they doing that?
Right. And their argument, their counter argument that they always come back with, and it's bullshit, prima facie, is they say, oh, it's not our fault. We've got to judge what's up there on stage every day. And I'm like, you're telling me that you can't, out of any crop of girls, as far as even mass goes, you can't tell me that you can't find a smaller girl who's got a nice mix of mass, symmetry, proportion, definition, that's not like a mass monster or is not ultra hard or ultra grainy. You're telling me that you can't pick that woman out of any crop of girls up there. And then when they say, oh, it's not our fault, it's like, why do you have that look on stage at that show? Let's take that argument. Say, okay, let's judge what you're seeing up there on the stage. How did that look come about? It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It didn't just exist in a vacuum. What you're seeing there is the look that was rewarded by the judges at the show before that, and the show before that, and the show before that, and the show before that. So what you're seeing up there on stage is a continuation of what you, the judges, have been rewarding. That's why you're seeing that look on stage at that particular day. It's not because the women are just deciding clear out of the blue to look like this. No, it's because this is the look that you guys have been rewarding all this time. So that's why.
So the question I have for you and George is, after Daniel and Bailey was champion, Julianne became the next champion. Who was the champion after her?
Shanique Grant.
Shanique, yeah.
And how was her?
What she has right now. What she has right now. She is not, her look has not changed from then to now.
She's moved over to wellness. You know that. She has changed.
Oh, wait, Shanique has? Oh, Shanique. Yes. That's who we're talking about. I thought you were talking about Veronica. I'm sorry.
No,
you're right. You're right. Shanique was the next one after that. So,
yes, because her, right now, remember when she lost to Sarah, she said that she was going to be done because at the time she was 24, 25. She said she's going to be done. She's going to go off and have babies. I heard her boyfriend broke up and she was working a cocktail races at a strip club. And now she's talking about doing wellness. You've seen pictures of her. I'll get a chance. I'll pull them up. Her look has changed because remember, she was just like Natalia in figure. Then, like Natalia, she moved over.